But he that is greatest amongst you shall be your servant. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Jesus, the Lord himself saying, if you want to be big timing, you want to be great, let that great one become a servant. In this new culture we have in America, servanthood is not used in this modern day era. Americans, we do not talk about service, we talk about being served. And that's why you find people don't come to church, don't volunteer, don't do anything, because now we are in a self-serving generation. No one has respect for anything anymore. Most people don't have respect for leadership, don't have respect for even the office of president. Nobody respect the own office that's the highest office, don't show respect for the office. So now we are teaching our young people and teaching the next generation, don't respect nothing. Don't serve nothing. But we want the great. We want to be great. We want to be fantastic. We want to be all this and arrive. And Jesus has flipped everything upside his head by saying, if you want to be the greatest among you, let that person be a servant. Which now in today's culture is ridiculous. But if you're talking about world culture, you're correct. But if you're talking about kingdom culture, then you're talking about something God. And most churches don't talk about kingdomship. See, we talk about, we are in a democratic society, but in the kingdom, the king has all rule and all monarchy and all authority. We said that that's evil. But now, regular society is good. So now this society is built on self-centered information. So Phil and Holiday, they don't do this, they don't do that. But now we thank God that we are run by a kingdom. And so if you want to be great, you be a servant. That's why it says more blessed to give than what? See, the next generation don't know how to give. And if you don't give, you don't get. Now we're in a generation that we can't be abased. We can't humble ourselves. It's hard. When you're ready to be humble, God will humble you. Because let me say things will humble you. Lack, death, trouble will humble you. In order for you to be great and appreciate your greatness, you got to be humble. See, I don't want, people might not come to church, people might not do this, people, that, you know what? When my hell in my life humbled me. And I went from hardness to being humble. When you're young gun. When you're young, you're a young lion. When you're young, you got time. But the older you get, time will humble you. Waiting is the hardest part. Process will break you down. People think, oh, trouble will. No, trouble just won't hold you. Just having to wait. See, the biggest problem with a lot of people right now, we're in the internet age, and everything happened in a second. You look at a story, you watch a movie, oh, they were broke, and in 10 minutes later, they a millionaire. That's not reality. Certain things take 10 years to get. Certain things take a long time to get. And so you got to know God will give it to you, but you got to soften you. He's going to allow things to happen to you so you can learn the process. The biggest problem with a lot of young preachers come in here and they run up in here like, man, Doc, we can do it. It ain't going to happen like that. Oh, we're going to grow a ministry in tomorrow. No, it ain't. They're going to come in here. They're going to eat your food. You're going to pray for them. You're going to sweat. You're going to spit. And they're going to put $1 in the offering. Well, I don't believe that. Well, go on out there and find out for yourself. Well, I saw you talking about Bishop Jakes. Learn his story. Did you hear the story where he prayed where his soles was falling out of his shoes, and he'll tell you he was crying because he was trying to cover his shoes. He had one suit and his wife had to wash that suit every time he went out. Did you know that his car got repossessed? Did you know he lost his job? Did you know he had one opportunity? Paul Krause saw him preaching somewhere and put him on. And if he never met Paul Krause, you would never knew who Bishop Jakes was. But he went through some hard times to get where he is now. So don't look at him now. And guess what? He said, I had woman die all loose and only 2 women showed up. His first one. It was a Bible study. Learn the process. But through that process, you know what? He was hard, but he came humble. I was hard. I was hard in the streets, but I became humble. Don't you know I appreciate everything God do? I don't worry about who go up, who show up. Lord, we here. And here's the miraculous. We didn't get it by a bunch of folk. We still here with not a lot of support, with not a lot of money, but we have here millions and millions of dollars of equipment and a facility. Because God will do it if you will humble yourself. And if you humble yourself, God will give you favor. Joseph earned favor with God because he was humble. And when you learn how to humble, when you humble, you're teachable. If you're arrogant, you can't learn nothing. Let me say this. Learning is when you earn. If you can't be learned, you can't earn nothing. If no one can teach you nothing, and if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get out that room. You got to make sure you get with people that can elevate you, not the people on the same level you are. If they hard, they just make you harder. If everybody, let me say this, if everybody's standing around, people will gather to who they are themselves. If I'm hanging around a bunch of weed smokers, all we going to do, you smoke weed, that was a good side of weed, that was a good shot you got. You could talk about the grade of weed you got, but that's all you're going to talk about. Alcohol is going to talk about, oh, you had some of that 90 head, or you had some of that vodka. That's a good vodka. That vodka, you try that vodka. We're going to talk about the world of vodka and alcohol, and we're going to live in the alcoholic world talking about how best or the greatest piece of alcohol, but at the end of the day, you're still an alcoholic. But if you start talking about the same people that talk about drugs and alcohol, start talking about, you know what? I'm talking about investment. You know, investment? You done messed them up. What are you talking about? I don't know about that. I'm going to get lit. I want to get high. Well, no, I want to get high on drugs or alcohol. I want to get high on the stocks. You know, hear about it? You start talking about stocks to an alcoholic, they're going to say, what the is wrong with you, man? Because they don't know that language. And they still in their hearts, and something must have softened you up to make you change. That's how you grow. You get away from the atmosphere that you're used to. And let me say something to you. I'm hanging around people that scare me. I hang around people that I don't know. I hang around people that got millions of dollars. I'm sitting around millionaires, broke as I am. I'm sitting around millionaires, people who have money. And they talking to me, they talking finances. I'm here sitting on a board, and they show me a finance report with all this writing and the letters and numbers, and this is our net profit, and we earned $2 million. And they sending me over emails, and I know what we making. And so they say, well, we're gonna buy this new building cash. I'm like looking like. And they walk around with coffee and all that, and hey, Pastor Allen, come on in here, and we want to talk. And I got to sit there like I know what they doing. And they give me the finance report, and y'all, my eyes go cross-eyed. I'm like, oh my, what, go for line 22. Now I got it now, but before I was so nervous, line 22, and I'm looking like I'm cheating. You know, you want to test, you looking at other people's paper like, what paper, what's line 22? And I got to fake the phone. And I said, God, why you got me here? So see, God will put you in a place where you're unfamiliar to get you ready for a blessing. Because maybe I might have to fill out our finance report, our gains and our losses, our spreadsheets. God will put you in an atmosphere where if it don't make you, God will put you in places so it can soften you, so it can humble you. He'll make sure you're great. If it doesn't scare you, that's nothing. If you can pay for it, that ain't nothing. If you got the money for it, that ain't God. If it doesn't make you nervous, if it's above your grade, if it's above your knowledge, God will put you in places to train you, to humble you. Because you thought you were hot stuff. I tell some folk, go to certain churches. Go certain places. Go some places you ain't used to. It will scare the living daylights out of you. First time I deal with people in government, they sitting here talking to me like, you know, Pastor, we want, I'm like, well, I know something, but I know the street side of it. So when they ask me questions, then I have to go, and one time I went, I was overdressed. You know, I had the suit on and all that, and I looked like a penguin. And everybody walking around with darkers and all that on, and they were talking, and you know, I'm like, man. And so I said, wait a minute, hold up, I got to do something. So I ran in the bathroom, I took the bow tie off, opened up my shirt off, took the hanky out, you know, no. And what I did was I just wrapped my pants up a little bit, because it was too tight. That was just too, you know, that was too creased. There you go. I had to make a little wrinkle. And when I walked in, I turned my cuff up like they did, and you know, my posture had to change, because I was walking like this. I had to walk in, you know. And when I stepped out, hey, Pastor. Now, nobody knew who I was when I came with the bow tie and all, but I looked like everybody else. People said, well, but I still was an individual. I don't wear stuff like that. You ain't getting no money. And let me say this. I didn't go for somebody to put some money in my hand. I went for somebody to put some wisdom in my head. Sometimes you don't need money, you need to know. The reason why the Bible said we die by the lack of knowledge, but you can't be so hard that you can't humble yourself to get information. The reason why a lot of people die, they die by the lack of knowledge. The reason why this next generation has this me, it's all about me. If you don't serve, you can't be great. The biggest thing of being greatness is serving, because in serving, you learn how things work. You learn the business by serving in it. If you're going to be the great one, if you running a business, you need to know, I say, I'm going to run a restaurant, I'm going to run a McDonald's. But if you're going to run a McDonald's, you're going to know how to work the fry machine, you got to work the burger machine, you got to know how to work the drive-through. Because guess what? If you know all aspects of the business, it will humble you. And then nobody can pull the wool over your eye. You know how I know I run this building? Because I did it for 24 years. It humbled me. I didn't get terrified when people came and the state came and the zoning came and the fire marshal showed up. Oh God, the fire marshal, what are we going to do? I know I work with the fire marshal. I work with dealing with OSHA. I work with inspections and all that. I thought that was my second nature. But God prepared me, because you know what? I was hard to it, but God humbled me, and I knew how to gain. That's how God blesses you. If you learn how to humble yourself. He said, humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. And he will exalt you in due season. If you humble yourself, God will elevate you. That's why God hates pride. Reason why God hates pride more than anything. Anything, because first of all, you didn't do anything to have your breath. But he hates pride because pride stops you from being taught. Arrogant people don't learn nothing. Oh, I got this. I like when young cats come in, that you know what you know. What this one young guy I was talking to, he was telling me, man, Pastor, I was doing good, but I had problems. You know, I deal with women. I said, well, give me your Facebook with you. Oh, Pastor, I don't want to get you all messed up, I've been around, and I got women, Pastor, that mess you up. I said, son, no, son, that wouldn't mess me up. Well, I said, son, I ain't been a pastor all my life. I said, as an old man, I'll take your women. I said, been around the block. I ran parties. I had big leg, big booty contests. I knows how that is. I said, son, I'm probably was the biggest whore than you were. But God saved me. It humbled me. I said, the reason why I don't do what you did, because sometimes you can do it so much and so long, that's so strong, that you get tired of it. If you raise hell with a bell and raise it up to the nth degree that the hell couldn't go no higher, then you got bored with it. It's not that I'm so saved. I did it so bad that I got tired of. Some people can drink till they stop drinking. Some people party. I party myself out. And when you come in that bad, I don't know. I'm like, man, boy, please. And I told him the game. I told him how he run it. I said, let me explain to you how they run up on you. Because you got your little business, you come in there, you got to wear your little tight shirts, you come in and play like that. I said, you got a girl at home, that's your main chick. Then you got about 3 or 4 side chicks. He like, looking at me, you running on them. But you know what?